They said he was a troubled boy. But no one, no neighbor, no teacher, no family member could have predicted he'd do this. In the quiet English suburb of Haverhill, Suffolk, where front lawns were neatly trimmed and everyone knew each other's dog by name, 84-year-old John Brown was the definition of peace. A retired train conductor, John was loved by the community for his gentle nature, warm smile, and the way he still delivered baked pies to his neighbors every Sunday. But all of that ended in blood. On the morning of March 14th, 2025, emergency services were called to John's home. A chilling 999 call had come in with a voice, frantic but calm, saying he's not breathing. That voice was Jakob Walpole, his 19-year-old grandson. What Jakob didn't say was that he was the reason his grandfather lay lifeless on the living room floor. When paramedics arrived, they found John Brown dead, bludgeoned beyond recognition. Blood spattered the fireplace, the armchair, even the walls. The weapon, a metal fire poker, still gripped by Jacob's shaking hands. But what made this crime even more horrifying wasn't just the brutality, it was the motive. Jakob wasn't a stranger to law enforcement. He had a long history of mental health issues, erratic behavior, and school suspensions. But what authorities didn't know was that he harbored deep resentment toward his grandfather. According to later testimony, Jakob believed John had hidden secrets, that he was controlling his thoughts, and that he needed to be freed. The investigation revealed Jakob had stopped taking his prescribed medication weeks before the incident. But that wasn't all. In the days leading up to the murder, Jakob had been posting cryptic videos on TikTok. In one now-deleted clip, he whispered into the camera, "The truth is louder than blood." Another simply showed a burning photo of an old man. At first, police considered whether this was a psychotic break. But what made the case more chilling was the discovery of Jacob's handwritten notebook, titled Plans. Inside were pages detailing his intention to kill, with the exact time, method, and even a list of what to say to the police. It was premeditated. Forensic analysts also found a disturbing Google search history on Jacob's phone. How many hits to kill someone? Fire poker weapon strength. Can you go to jail if insane? The trial began in July 2025, and the courtroom was packed. The media had dubbed it the Suffolk Slaughter, and the public was gripped. Jakob sat emotionless throughout the proceedings, his gaze cold, unfocused. John Brown's daughter, Jacob's mother, testified with tears in her eyes, torn between love for her father and the horror that her own son was responsible. When the prosecutor displayed the murder weapon and the bloodied notebook to the jury, there was a gasp in the courtroom. The defense tried to argue diminished responsibility due to mental illness, but the premeditation in Jacob's journal killed that argument. In a powerful moment, the judge read aloud Jacob's words from the notebook. "He's the reason I'm trapped. I have to make him stop." The verdict came swiftly. Jakob Walpole was found guilty of murder and sentenced to life imprisonment, with a minimum of 28 years before parole. The judge called it a calculated, remorseless act of familial betrayal that robbed a peaceful man of his life and a family of their future. But the story didn't end there. The community of Haverhill was shaken. For weeks, people left flowers outside John Brown's house. One sign read, "Rest in peace, Mr. Brown. You deserve better." A local church organized a memorial, where neighbors shared stories of John's kindness, how he'd fixed someone's fence, gifted an old couple an umbrella in the rain, brought toys to children during Christmas. John wasn't just a victim. He was a symbol of goodness lost to a storm no one saw coming. Mental health advocates across the UK used this case to highlight the growing crisis among youth. Jacob's social media posts became case studies and lectures about warning signs, online radicalization, and digital cries for help ignored. One expert said, "This wasn't just a murder, it was a system failure." Despite the horror, many clung to the fact that justice was served, that John's killer didn't walk free, that his story wasn't forgotten in the media cycle, that his name, John Brown, meant something. And now, his story lives on as a grim reminder of what can happen when pain festers, when signs are missed, when family is no longer safe. So we leave you with this. How does a grandson become a monster to the man who once carried him on his shoulders? Was Jacob failed by the system, or was this evil in its purest form? Let us know what you think in the comments below.